You got to delight in the success of others. You got to really become, you got to come off the plane. You're not playing anymore. You're coaching. And right, you're not. Yes, you still have things you have to do. Yes, the chief legal officer still has to do lawyer-like things, but you've got a team under you now. And so, what needs to become more prominent in you is helping others be successful, creating a platform where others can find out how good they can be, delighting when they achieve success, not feeling threatened by that, feeling generous around that, generous with your increases, generous with your praise. And I said, and you got to celebrate everything, right? Because it's so hard right now. People are working from home and there's so much coming at all of us, whatever the distractions are that people are trying to manage. So that your AI is not going to bring a keg in, at least not yet. And so you look for reasons to, and of course I was joking. I'm presenting to this conference of lawyers and they're like, eyes are crossing thinking about all the liabilities from bringing a keg in. But it's the spirit of find reasons to celebrate all the time.
Gotcha. And at risk of stating the obvious, why do you want to make people feel good about their jobs? Like, are they just not getting enough praise?
I think this is, I think there can be a couple answers to this question. So one is, how do you think about your job? How do you think about what you're here for? Not just the paycheck, but how do you think about what your role is as a leader? Are you about the team? Or are you about managing your career? And so if you, and look, I'm not judging. I mean, there's plenty of people that like climbing the career ladder and they make that the priority focus and they don't worry about the team. They manage up. That's still quite common in organizations. But I think the best leaders are thinking about their team and they're thinking about their team's effectiveness. They're also realizing, the best leaders are realizing that most of my outputs come from my team. They don't come from me. They come from my team. And so I want my team to be as effective as possible. And people generally work better when they are seen and recognized and acknowledged. They feel like they're learning and growing. They're being given opportunities to do things. And you've got to have a generosity of spirit to create that kind of environment. So that's,
Gotcha.
that's the first thing I would say. And the second thing I would say is, and this is another thing that I think people don't pay enough attention to in organizations, is when people leave, it's incredibly disruptive. Now, short-term productivity loss, somebody like they could take clients out the door. There could be revenue that's lost from it. You've got to go through the hiring process of bringing somebody in new and integrating them and getting them up to speed with what everyone is doing. Plus, if somebody's working for you and you're really pushing the envelope, you're pushing the use of AI, you've got the machine's working pretty well. When part of that machine leaves, dang, that's bad. So you want to attract and retain the talent you have. And it's not just praise for praise sake, but it's looking for reasons to celebrate. I mean, sometimes you also have to do the other thing, which is to ask for more for people. So it's not just saying, oh, like, somebody comes in and they're wearing a nice outfit or a nice jacket or they got a new haircut. You're not just praising them for that. You're praising them for, good results, and sometimes also asking them for